Hi, Jeremy here from the Golfing Curriculum with the last video that you will ever need to watch about the grip. This is the definitive guide to one of the most important fundamentals that there is. It's the absolute heartbeat of your swing. It's the only contact you have with the club, and as Ben Hogan was very fond of saying, you never see a good golfer with a bad grip and you never see a bad golfer with a good grip. I spend most of my time teaching these things on the lesson tee. Let's get it right for once and for all. Now, why is this so important, you may ask? Well, it's important for club head speed. That lovely swish comes from hinging the wrists back and through, and also delivering the club face square. Let's start with the squareness and the top hand in particular. And what you can see here is the club face is square, and if I show you from on top, I've got my two V's pointing up to the right shoulder, and I can see 2.5 knuckles on the top hand, and the right hand matches it. Well, why is that important? Well, this is pretty much where your hand wants to be as you strike the ball, slightly leading the club face. So this grip delivers the club face square, and it's the same idea with the right hand. What we want is the palm of the right hand facing in the same direction as the club face. And then when I deliver my right hand back to this position, like a tennis player, they say hit with the palm, you line up the palm and the racket, and that delivers the club face back to square. We can adjust it if we want to play a curve, but for a straight shot, this is a pretty good starting point. So there are a number of ways of getting the left hand right. Most popular at the moment is Scottie Scheffler's vertical hold of the club, and then he points his fingers directly away from himself and lines up the fingers pretty much at 90 degrees and at the base of the fingers so that the fingers can go round, and then he can close the rest of the hand on. And then you're ready for a little Ben Hogan test where he lifts off the last 3 fingers, and you can see how the wrist is right on top of the handle. Now that is exactly how you'd grip a hammer. Yeah, just imagine that you've got a hammer, you're banging a nail in, you'd use your wrist to create a bit of power and also accuracy. You wouldn't use the arm much, but to get wrist power, which is a great way to increase your club head speed. Again, that's another video altogether. Don't be using your body, get some hand speed going in the first part of the downswing. And this is a great way of doing it. And everybody who hammers puts the club in the fingers and bashes away. There's a free download about how to do this and why it's so important on a link in the description. So download that. There'll be a graphic at the end directing you to that. But this is what we want, the club in the fingers of the left hand. Yeah, Ben Hogan or Scheffler, or if you don't like those, then there's also a Jack Nicklaus one where he stands with his hands to his side and puts the club in the fingertips and simply picks it up. Yeah, club in the fingers, right at the base, arms by his side, knuckles sort of showing a little bit as they hang. It wouldn't sort of naturally hang like that. A little bit across in the fingers. You can see I'm at the base of my fingers and simply pick it up. The most important part is the pad of, or the heel of the wrist here, sitting right on top of the club. Then, from this end, you cannot see this part of the club. It's an absolute giveaway. When I see that, I know then that I'm looking at a slicer. The thumb is straight down the shaft. There's only one knuckle, and the club is square. But impact, of course, the hand comes back in this position here, and the club face is open. If you have too many knuckles showing, then you're going to hook it quite a long way. If we've got this look here where the V is beyond the right shoulder and there are too many knuckles showing, then same thing. This is where the hand wants to be as it strikes the ball, and of course then you'll get an almighty hook. The same rules apply to the right hand as well. We want the palm here to face in the same direction as the club face, and then we can get a straight shot, assuming a good swing path, which is again the subject of another video. But if we go underneath, then the palm returns, and the palm returning square is not the problem. The starting point is absolutely the problem. The club will be in a hooking position as well. It doesn't just change the club face, of course, it changes the whole address position as well. With my hand underneath, I'll tilt my shoulders too back, and I'll probably close my shoulders off as well, making an in to out path. And if I do it the other way with just one knuckle showing, I can't get my left shoulder high enough, shoulders too level, head's too far forward, and this will create a downward angle of attack and an open club face, and we all know where that ends. Big slice. So this has a huge effect on the direction of the club face and your ability to create speed. So we've covered off the left hand in the fingers, and the right hand also has to be in the fingers as well. Let's take a look at that. Now with the right hand, it's like a throwing action is required. If you're going to throw a ball, you'd always put it in the fingers, and then you could create speed by bending the arm and then straightening it. Same here. Put the club in the fingers, the middle two fingers, super important. And then the thumb pad, this bit here, you see that? That sits directly on top of the left thumb. It's also a very good idea to close the gaps. Great for the top of the swing, because then the club is well supported. If you've got gaps in your grip, you might loosen the grip in the swing, and that is a very bad idea. So close the gaps, make them actual lines. We don't want any of this, thumb down the side, or this. Again, the club's loose then. Thumb central for the left hand. So the left thumb sort of favours the right hand side, and the right thumb favours the left hand side, and this trigger finger, you can move that down a little bit as well. But the idea is that you've lined up the palm and the club face. Now, if we do this, everybody thinks that's going to cure a slice. It'll do the opposite, unfortunately. Your hand will come back to face the target, and look how that opens the club face. So this is an opener, having the V up to the chin, and this is a strengthener. If we have the palm underneath too much, as we've already seen, the club will roll closed, and that will have a devastating effect on your game. It will give you massive unpredictability. It will have a knock-on effect on your shoulder alignment, and all kinds of shots will result. And you will get the one thing that you don't want, which is inconsistency. It's a bat and ball game. If you combine the bat and the ball, and the line of the swing, and the angle of the club face, then you'll get the shots that you require. To hit the ball straight, you need to return the club square, and it has to travel in the right direction. So if you've got a good grip and you're still struggling with direction on your shots, then here's a video that might be interesting to you. It's about swing path. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for another shot on the golfing curriculum.